Volkswagen's Multivan e-hybrid brings PHEV efficiency to the big people carrier segment and does so in surprising style. It's more than a large MPV, but not quite as gargantuan as the biggest van-based people carriers. Possibly it's an ideal combination of both, with efficiency that could make more sense than driving a diesel.
We've never seen a plug-in hybrid Volkswagen MPV before, but that's what we've got here in the sleekly squarical shape of the brand's Multivan e-hybrid. You could still choose a Multivan with the 2-litre TDI diesel, but before you sign up for one of those, check this e-hybrid version out, as we're going to do here with the industry's most comprehensive review, the Car and Driving Road Test. The drive system here certainly isn't one you typically expect to find in a van or of a Volkswagen MPV, come to that. A plug-in hybrid setup offering 218 PS from the combination of a 1.4 TSI petrol engine and an 85 kilowatt electric motor. Nor is the silence of this big Volkswagen's progress when forward motion is being sourced purely from the 13 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery, which is said to be possible when fully charged for up to 31 miles. When the transition to combustion power does come, more likely to be around the 25-mile mark, it's pleasantly seamless. Changing gear, as with all multivans, is done via a dash-mounted auto selector so small you might miss it, though with this e-hybrid model there are 6 ratios rather than the usual 7. As with other Volkswagen plug-in hybrids that use the same engine setup, various selectable settings govern the way that the e-hybrid powertrain works. The vehicle always starts off in fully electrified E mode before switching to a more normal hybrid mode that sees the electric motor and the combustion engine combining together. You've also a reserve charge level option that will allow you to save a predetermined level of battery charge until later in your trip. This plug-in e-hybrid petrol version theoretically offers up to 156.9 mpg on the combined cycle, that reading based around use of the normal hybrid driving mode. In reality, you're more likely to achieve returns comparable with the 2-litre diesel TDI variant, and even for that you'll need to use the various provided drive modes proactively and keep an eye on the various provided e-displays. What about emissions with the e-hybrid? Well, they're rated at a tax-busting 41 grams per kilometre of CO2. That figure based around the potential 31-mile driving range possible from the 13 kilowatt-hour battery when fully charged. Make full use of that, and it's quite likely that with a typical commute, a Multivan e-hybrid owner would only need to actually visit a fuel station every month or two. We should cover charging with this PHEV model too, assuming you install a 3.6 kilowatt wall box charger in your garage. The e-hybrid model's battery can be replenished from empty in 3.5 hours. From an ordinary household socket, the charging time figure rises to around 5 hours. There are no exterior clues to this particular Multivan's plug-in status, so unless your neighbours happen to notice the badging or the extra flap for the charging point, they'll be none the wiser. This model's wider and longer than the old Caravelle and sits lower. To be specific, it's 1,941mm wide and 1,903mm tall, and in standard shape, short wheelbase form, 4,373mm long. There's an even bigger, extended long wheelbase version that's 5,173mm long. Style-wise, the Multivan looks, well, much less like a converted van, helped by its smart full-width grille and sharp LED headlights. Plus, you can have the split two-tone paint finishes that typified so many previous Caravelles. But what Volkswagen thinks will really sell larger families this model is its flexible interior and modular seating system. 7 seats are standard, with a 6-seat layout optional. All the seats are individual chairs which sit on various rails running the length of the cabin. The seats are 25% lighter than those in the previous Caravelle, making them easier to remove and reposition, especially compared to the old 90-kilogram rear bench. Unfortunately, the middle seats no longer swivel on their bases, so if you want to turn them to face those at the very rear, you'll have to unclip them, lift them and turn them round. Up front, because Volkswagen hasn't fitted a conventional handbrake or gear lever, there's no centre console. But if you miss that, the passenger cabin sliding table can be pushed right up to the front to function as one. There's a smart multi-function steering wheel through which you view a digital cockpit instrument display. Infotainment's taken care of by a 10-inch centre screen. Impressively, luggage space isn't affected by the PHEV drivetrain. With all the seats in place, boot capacity is 469 litres on the short wheelbase model and 763 litres with the long wheelbase version. Maximum load space with all seats folded on models without a sunroof is rated at 3,672 litres for the short wheelbase model and 4,005 litres for the long wheelbase version. We can't help thinking that this, rather than a trendier 7-seat plug-in hybrid large SUV, should be a well-heeled family's perfect all-round pick for everyday transport. So why will this model be such a rare sight outside the school gates? Well, possibly because of perceived image, but probably because most people don't know about it. Those that do maybe can't face the thought of a trip to a Volkswagen commercial vehicle dealer to try one, but we think it's worth the effort. Maybe, just maybe, your best family travel stories could start right here.